Whether you know Jabbar personally, worked with him, served in the military, or saw him in New Orleans or Texas, we need to talk to you. You may not think you have relevant information, but what you know could tie in to one of our investigative leads. Specifically, we want to talk to anyone who was in the French Quarter on New Year's Eve or early on New Year's Day. That includes people spotted near one of the two IEDs on Bourbon Street. The IED was inside a cooler, and many people stopped and looked at the cooler and then continued on their way. Let's be clear, again, we do not believe at this point these people are involved in this incident in any way. We want to speak to them as witnesses and want to know what they saw and when.
By the way, that is also going to be a problem for them, especially after we saw the images of like random people getting arrested at their houses with the full might of the American military, basically. All of a sudden, it rings hollow when you say, oh, we won't do anything, we promise. Can you give us some information? When clearly they did treat a lot of people. They treated a lot of people like they were straight up involved.
I went down to the crime scene last night. It is very hard to put into words what it looked like and how difficult it was to see. Anyone with information can call us at 1-800-CALL-FBI or send digital tips to fbi.gov/Bourbon Street Attack. Early this morning, evidence response teams finished their work at the crime scene. Bourbon Street has been turned over to the city of New Orleans. As you know, there's also an FBI investigation in Las Vegas. We are following up on all potential leads and not ruling everything out. However, at this point, there is no defense.
All right, I believe it. All right, bruh, babe. I'll have you on as on guest star. I'm gonna call you in on guest star right now. Show us? No, I'm not gonna show you. That's crazy. Do you want to be on? You don't want to be on camera, right? So we'll just hear you. I can't even see her in the chat because the chat is going crazy spamming. Hold on. Okay, I just sent you an invite, bruh, babe. I just sent you an invite to guest star. You need to accept it. And then you'll be able to talk. Hello? You're muted, by the way. Can you hear me? Hello? I feel like you're speaking, or at least you're hearing me, it seems, because every time I speak, your sound bubble pops up, which means I can't, you're on, but I can't hear you. Can you guys can't hear it either, right? Maybe their device doesn't have a mic. No, every device has a mic. What are you talking about? Okay. check the input. Yeah, go chatter. Check your input. Like click on your settings and check your input output. Do you have them muted? No, I don't have them muted. The mic icon, not the speaker icon? What do you mean? My mic is off. But even when I speak, wait, what? Even when my mic is off, when I speak, it sounds like she's speaking. What? That's weird. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know what's going on. Oh, because probably my stream is open? Maybe? Is that the reason? Looks like she's using the line mic input and not her actual mic. Yeah, but even if it's picking up the stream sound, it wouldn't be so immediate. So there would be a delay. I think you have to maybe click on the microphone on the top here, like on the top left corner of your screen, and see if you give it permission. Like you're allowing Twitch to use. Or I'm gonna hang up and I'm gonna call you again. But tell me if you are using using a phone or a desktop. Using our onboard sound as input on our microphone. Yeah, it might just be bugged. Let's see. Let's try again. I'm going to call again. I'm on my laptop. Okay, I'm calling again. I might have a privacy thing, potentially. Okay, I sent you another invite. Okay, can you hear me? Okay, you were muted and then you unmuted, but I still can't hear you. Oh, wait, I can hear you now. Hold on, I heard you for a second.
Mute something. Sorry, I hear everything.
Okay, you're low though, but I can hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Now
there's a super long delay.
No, because you're probably hearing me from stream. You're not hearing me from. Here's the problem. You're hearing me from the stream. You're not hearing me from the actual you're not hearing me from the actual like guest star feature. So you fixed your microphone,
right,
but I think you need to change your audio as well.
Then I'll listen to the call.
No. Here's what we're going to do. You need to also change your input on your what do you call it? On your audio as well. And then mute the stream. Your output.
Okay.
Your input is working. We can hear you. You need to change your output. And then you'll be able to hear me in real time. Can you hear me? I'm going to keep talking to see if you can hear me eventually while you're changing your input and changing your output.
Yes, I can still hear you. I'm trying to find the settings on my laptop.
But you can't hear me in real time now. No. It's not
Actually, I'm
necessarily
still listening to the stream. You
okay,
have
and it's
a
also
mute
not
thing on the call. I don't know how to unmute you.
okay. I'm thinking like, I mean, I guess you could download Discord as well, and then that would be much easier to do if you could download in like.
I just unmuted.
Oh wait, you did? Okay, perfect. Can you
Oh,
hear me
there you
now?
are. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. There it is. All right. So we have Bruh Babe here. What do you want me to call you? Like not your. If you don't want to reveal your real name, that's fine.
Yeah, just username is fine.
Okay, we have Bruh Babe here. Bruh Babe is the niece of the NOLA attacker, and I wanted to hear a little bit more, whatever you want to reveal about the background of the person who you're related to.
Yes, so um he is the brother of my dad, and my parents actually separated when I was really young, so I'm not super close to that side of the family. But we do share a name. Um, when I would visit in the summers, super normal. Like he was actually like the uncle that I would look forward to seeing.
Wait, hold on. Can you hear me?
For him and my dad and their other brother playing GTA, and he was the only one that would let me play with them. Um, he was goofy, um, super sweet, um, and I never knew him to be anyone capable of doing something like this. Yes, GTA.
So the question I have is, we looked at the background of Jabbar extensively on the broadcast yesterday. I think you saw some of our coverage. The LinkedIn profile
Yes.
was revealed. It showed that like he extensively worked in the military. He served in
Mm-hmm.
Afghanistan. He toured in Afghanistan. He came back, and he was doing IT work, I believe, for the
Yes.
military.
Yes.
Okay.
I knew him to be someone who knew a lot about like computers and kind of a nerd in that way.
Mm-hmm. And he also did some
Um,
HR work as well.
yes.
Okay, so there has got to be a point of divergence. So as far as his like background goes, he was, I believe, divorced once and then got remarried.
Yes.
Okay, so he was divorced once and he got remarried. Does he have kids
Yes.
from the first a wife or the second wife?
First.
Okay, and what is the so from the first wife he had kids. What is the extent of like what is his ethnic background? Because I'm a little confused. Is he like where is he
Yeah,
from?
that's part of what is kind of confusing about this because he obviously has a very ethnic name. Shamsud-Din is what we would call him, and
Yeah.
I
Well,
very ethnic name as well. It's very yeah, and Jabbar, we share that. So does my dad and their other brother. However, I think one of them is actually one of my uncles is like a half brother. Um, and their stepdad was the one who was Muslim. And he's the one who kind of named everyone. So I always um, kind of associated the family with Islam, but like no one practiced it.
okay. Yeah, it seems
Like
like
everyone's super Christian in the family, but we have super Muslim names. But there are some Muslim family members. but
Mm-hmm.
like I've never seen anyone with a Quran. No one's ever gone to a mosque or whatever. Um, so the religious aspect of it is a little um, weird for me too, being a frequent victim of Islamophobia. When I'm like, dude, I was raised Catholic. Like, it's just my name. But I'm sure
Yeah.
that's not helping.
So, so Shamsuddin was also he was not like he was not. You're saying he was not raised Muslim,
Not to my knowledge.
okay? And not only to your knowledge, not only was he most likely not raised Muslim, but also there were some people. I believe that it was. Was he still with his second wife recently, or
I
had
do
he
not
separate?
believe so.
So he had also separated from his second wife. Okay, because his second wife, there were some people that reached out to the second wife, and the second wife's partner said something along the lines of like how he had actually exhibited weird behavior and that he had like recently converted to
Mhm.
Islam.
Yes, so that was probably around the time period where he started acting um, erratic, I guess. But I believe even at that time, it might have been at the very beginning, like when the family's mostly Christian and or agnostic, and then someone starts talking about the Quran, the other family members are kind of like, what the fuck? Um, so I think that might have been the beginning impression of that. Um, like I don't think it was 0 to 100. Um,
Okay.
I also know around this time, me and his daughter, because I don't talk to my dad either, just because he's a narcissist and annoying. But me and Shamsuddin's daughter had actually bonded about not talking to our dads at some point.
That's interesting. So he was also, but that his daughter from his first marriage. He didn't have children from his second marriage, right? Hello?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Sorry,
So
it was buffering. Not that I know of.
okay, so you're talking to your cousin,
Mm-hmm.
Shamsuddin's daughter from his first marriage, and
Mm-hmm.
and she's telling you that her father has started acting differently, acting strange, and this happened. Do you have an exact timeline, if you don't mind me
This was
asking?
probably honestly around 2020, I believe.
Oh, so this. Oh, he started talking. He started behaving differently in 2020. Was there like a pivotal moment in his life in this time frame? Is this like? Is this after?
There's,
Is this after the first? Like, was he married to a second wife at that point?
I believe it was after the second wife had separated.
Oh, okay.
I think your analysis of um, the narrative of him being a divorced dad and having all that stress and the money stress um, is the actual cause of the issues, and then you just needed some sort of like scapegoat, I guess, or some reason to be so drastic.
Yeah. So, I guess the question I have is like, what's interesting about it is that there's videos of
Hmm.
Shamsuddin online from his real estate job. I believe
Yeah.
as recent as like 2020 or 2021, or at least he has posts on Twitter as
Yes.
recently as 2021,
Hmm.
where his social media footprint is not strange at all. It doesn't have
No,
any of the
it's not.
markers of like a person on the throes of radicalization. Um, he just looks like a very competent, normal, if not somewhat kind individual, which is unique
Yes.
because when you compare it to like when you compare this to the the Christmas market attack, which was fairly similar to the NOLA attack. That person had an extensive social media footprint. Was a person who was in these right-wing circles. He had demonstrated militancy. He was saying a lot of radical things, but also saying a lot of insane things that weren't even like political in general. Yeah. Oftentimes he said a lot of radical things in the political sphere, but you know, there was very clearly something wrong with him. Whereas Shamsud-Din did not demonstrate any of that, at least on his social media. But you're saying that as early as 2020, there was a little bit of a separation, and there was an attitude change from him after the separation of his second marriage. Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you again now.
Okay.
I had a connection error. I still have the
it's cutting in and out, but it's okay. So you're saying that I'm going to repeat the question. You're saying that there was in spite of the lack of like oddities or weirdness on his social media profiles, he started acting strange, at least with his family, around the time of his separation in his second marriage.
Yes. And I'd clarified of like bonding with me and his daughter over not talking to our dads was kind of more like similar issues, like normal issues, not he was acting so weird and so extreme that he was saying all this outlandish stuff and that's why she wasn't talking to him, but so just my dad's being a dick or he's being annoying, more like that.
Okay. All right, that makes sense.
So I think as far as like a point of radicalization, I think that was very recent.
Okay. So it seems like he became more isolated. Do you know when the last time your cousin talked to her dad?
I am not sure.
Okay. When was the last time you talked to him? Or saw him? Or heard of him at all?
Well, actually, I don't know if it's revealing too much about myself, but I'm also in real estate. So he kind of helped me with the licensing process and where to go and how to pay your dues and all that sort of stuff. So
when was that, if you don't mind me asking?
Around 2020 as well.
Oh, okay. And he didn't seem odd at all when you last talked to him.
Not at all.
Okay. I mean, 5 years is a very long time for a lot of things to change, especially because like there's the COVID lockdowns and whatnot and the isolation that came, the isolation that happened. A lot of people dramatically changed their lives during that time frame. So that's somewhat understandable. But overall, you're saying that he was, at least when you were growing up, his profile was of a kind man.
Very, very much so.
With no indications that he might have, I mean, you're not a healthcare specialist, obviously, so this is not a professional estimation, but no indications like he wasn't, did he ever talk about like having PTSD or anything like that?
Never. I think the Afghanistan tour has been brought up a few times, but I don't believe he was like combat. And I think even after, because it was when he came back from that and some time had passed that he got into the real estate and property management stuff.
Did he ever talk about his experience at Fort Bragg at all, or no?
No.
Okay.
Not to me, at least.
I hope. I mean, how's your family doing? I know this is a weird question to ask, but you know, this is.
I'm doing okay. I obviously had to speak with the FBI earlier. Um, but like I said, my parents separated when I was young, so I'm not super close with that side of the family, but I am close with my grandma, who's his mom,
Mm-hmm.
and his daughters. So it's more my personal pain right now is knowing that they're going through that and they might never, well, they can't even rest, right? Because it's 24/7 news. There's no like getting away from it and processing it on your own. Um, just knowing that they're going through that. And then I also have, as I'm on a live Twitch chat, like security concerns as far as possible like Islamophobic blowback, especially when I don't believe that that was the main component of this attack.
Yeah. Um, some of the reports on this, some of the reports on this from CNN, which I'm sure you've probably seen,
Mhm.
has shown that he had recorded himself and he had posted on his Facebook. I don't know if you saw those Facebook posts or not. I don't know if you have Facebook
Which,
still, but it seems that he was posting videos of himself, especially on his way to New Orleans from Texas, where he talked about. I'm sorry to bring this up, uh,
oh,
and this is a little heavy, but
I'm
rounding
okay.
up his family and potentially killing them, but then
Yes.
chose to join the Islamic State, ISIS, and he had also printed out an ISIS flag, um,
Hmm.
which he hung upside down. Um, this is like, was there like I feel like if that was something that was if that was something that was on his mind, it seems like it would be something that he would have at least like not revealed to his family, his immediate family members, but at the very least, like they would have gotten an indication that he was clearly mentally unwell to
Not
that
doing, yeah.
degree.
I think he was sort of,
Wait, you're cutting out. Can you hear me? I think there's connection issues. Can you hear me now? Oh,
yes.
okay. Yeah, I didn't hear anything from your answer, but you heard my question, right?
Yes, that you would expect some signs. Um, as far as I know, he could have been self isolating leading up to the event. Um, I would expect my relatives that I do talk to, like my grandma, who's his mom, to um, tell me of.
Tell you of what? Hello? I lost you again. Can you hear me
Because we
now?
weren't.
Oh yeah. So hold on.
Oh,
Sorry,
yes.
you got cut out until you said talking
Sorry.
to his mother, your grandmother.
Yes, I would have expected her to clue me in on that because I don't live with them. So he very well could have been showing signs, and I don't think he lived with her. So as he continuously self isolated, it could have gotten worse and worse. But if he was, showing signs of something so grave as that, that I would expect to be told about that.
Yeah. So there was some talks about his trips to Egypt and whatnot. Do you have any idea on that? I mean, or
I
was it just for fun?
I do not have an idea of that. I am inclined to believe that they were just for fun. I think
Yeah.
one anchor said that um, I wouldn't be surprised if his trip to Canada had more influence on him than his trip to Egypt. Um,
Yeah.
and I'm likened to believe the same.
Yeah. So there was that, and then the other question was about financial troubles. At
hmm
what point did his financial troubles start, to the best of your knowledge?
Um, there, it could have been shortly after the first divorce, when like child support became an issue. That's kind of
Mm-hmm.
a trend in the family, unfortunately.
Okay. And then there's like a potential for piling on, and then the second divorce as well.
And I know when he became a realtor, he was also a property manager, and he was actually reaching out to me to see if I wanted to work with him in some capacity because he knew I was getting my real estate license. Um, so he was looking into me doing like some sort of administrative stuff and training me to like write articles for like blog posts and stuff. Um, but at that time, which is around 2020, um, I get the impression that he was sort of diving into real estate as an agent, but also as a property manager, while also trying to like have side hustles, like trying a lot of different things at once, and failures from multiple of those could have piled on.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, thank you so much, bro, babe. Is there anything else that
Thank you.
I haven't asked that you wanna bring forward?
No, just that he was, a super normal guy. He was
Yeah.
a super sweet, and like none of us expected this.
Yeah, it seems. I mean, even like I said, his social media profile, or like the information that we saw of him from now deleted, YouTube posts and things of that nature, did not
hmm
show did not show the usual trajectory. Uh, like, but they might have been, they might have been a couple years in the past. So at that point, it's just
I
like,
always had the impression of him being from my dad and his siblings. I always had the impression.
wait, can you hear me? Uh, hello, hello. I lost you again. Can you hear me? Oh, wait, you're back. Okay, I can hear you now.
Um,
You said, yeah, I don't. What do we leave it at? Chat.
um, I was saying my impression of him
Yeah.
was that he was always like the um, put together one, the one who kind of went for different professional endeavors, always dressed nice, always goofy, always super sweet. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
a little surreal,
Yeah. Well, thank you so much
a lot
for coming on.
of course.
Um, I hope things look better for you.
We're
And
trying, but thank you.
all right. Bye.
All right, bye.
That was Bruh Babe 11, the niece of the NOLA attacker. Uh Shamsud-Din Jabbar. And yes, before you ask, we did verify ahead of time. How was it verified that she was related to him? I'm curious and nosy. Sorry. Don't worry about it. What do you mean? She sent us photos of them together. Yeah, immediately as soon as we pull out, as soon as we get out of emote only mode, people immediately get annoying. Yeah, family photos. It's crazy to think he'd live down the street for basically from me, 5 minutes away. Yeah. He was not a Trump supporter to my knowledge, by the way. Oh, that's good. Thank you for that. I forgot to ask that. Yeah, we should just do permanent emote mode only. I tuned in a little late. What does she suspect was the reason he got radicalized, or was he just normal and crashed out suddenly? The suspicion is, again, none of us are professionals, but the suspicion is that it was the financial complications that came from the first divorce with like child payments and whatnot, and then the second separation from his second wife. The second separation from his second wife was like the seemingly trigger point that, like around 2020 when he had his second separation. That's when he started not behaving in like an erratic manner or anything. But basically, it seems like there was a point of isolation. What is this? Greenville Co., South Carolina. Situation unfolding in Greenland Co., South Carolina that closed I-85. Sources tell me it involves an 18-wheeler driver apparently pulled over and stated he has a bomb. Multiple agency incident. That is insane. This is near Whitehorse Road. Update. Exits were blocked and traffic is back for miles. Sources tell me state transport police pulled over the 18-wheeler. That's when he stated he had a bomb. Jesus Christ, dude. What is happening this year? What is going on this year? All right, we're gonna get back to the NOLA attack.
Link between the attack here in New Orleans and the one in Las Vegas.
Just the
and again,
second
I'll
day,
preface,
dude.
as I close, I'll preface everything with what I started with in the beginning, which was this is very early in an investigation like this. Again, our thoughts and prayers are with the victims of this tragedy and everyone impacted across the country. They remain at the heart of our investigation. I also, although I've only been on the ground here a short time, I also want to express a sincere appreciation for our partners here, which include the U.S. Attorney's Office, HSI, ATF, the New Orleans PD, the Louisiana State Police, the Governor's Office, and countless others.
And on our breaking news out of New Orleans now, the FBI says it believes the Army veteran from Texas who intentionally rammed a truck into a crowd on Bourbon Street acted alone. They say 3 phones and 2 laptops linked to the driver have been found, and that FBI bomb technicians recovered 2 improvised explosive devices in the Bourbon Street area. And this is coming as we're getting some new surveillance video of the attack. It shows a harrowing moment here. Just before you see there are people barely getting out of the way of the truck. It's unbelievable, and so thankful that they were able to get out of the way as that truck sped through the French Quarter. CNN anchor Anderson Cooper is live on the scene in New Orleans. Anderson, what more details are you learning at this hour?
Yeah, well, we have just, CNN has exclusively obtained actually video of the terror attacker. This, I want to show you, this is taken from a doorbell cam on a street where the attacker, you see there off to the right with the vehicle that he used in the attack. That is him arriving at and entering an Airbnb that he had rented about 2 miles from the Bourbon Street location where he, according to law enforcement, conducted this terror attack. That is the vehicle that we know came. He was rented in Houston. He rented it on December 30th. The FBI said today at a press conference they had several hours ago. He then drove it New Year's Eve, and while driving made about 5 videos in which he spoke to camera, according to the FBI. They recounted a little bit about what he said. He said that he had, they were showing the timeline. He rented the truck, drove it to Houston between 1 and 2 a.m. He's seen now on videos planting explosive devices. 2 explosive devices, according to the FBI, were found about in the area of the French Quarter that initially they had thought maybe other people had planted. They have confirmed today. They said at this point they believe no one else was involved in the attack here in Bourbon Street on the ground, actually planting those explosives.
If he actually had complicated IEDs, if he had like genuine like improvised explosive devices, I mean that kind of stuff you can kind of figure out on your own, but that also I think lends a little bit more credence to the ISIS point. Because like you can figure that out on your own as well. But I feel like that is something that I suspect that is something that they give you in the fucking ISIS radicalization manual. You know what I mean? I don't think there's a potential link between the 2 attacks, even though it is weird as fuck. Okay, here is KPRC2 has obtained footage of Shamsud-Din Jabbar's home following the deadly attack. Why are they zooming in on the Quran? His home in Northwest Harris County features a book collection which includes texts like the Quran and Bible and works on Islamic finance. We're still living in fucking a Homeland episode, chat. Yes, Islamic finance is a real thing because usury is a sin in Islam. I believe technically usury is a sin even in Christianity too, but I feel like nobody really cares about that. Also, there's zakat too. Yeah, the office style zoom here is doing a lot of work. Damn, my chicken is light today. They cooked me. Only 13 ounces, 13.5 ounces today. That's crazy. That's crazy. Normally it's supposed to be, yeah, that's a big L I'm taking on the protein intake for lunch. Yesterday was 17 ounces. Brand inflation has hit the chicken. Do you weigh your chicken? Yes, I do.
Devices. They were both those devices were found and detonated safely. That is a picture of the actual vehicle and you see it, it's the same vehicle that's in that security camera. This is after the attack. What you're not seeing there is that there's actually a person on the right-hand side, lower right-hand side of the screen, which we're not showing, a person who was injured. And we are still now learning a lot more about those whose lives were lost, about the people who were wounded. 14 people now confirmed dead, as many as 35 sustained injuries. A number of them are still in the hospital. I want to play some of, let you hear from the FBI agent in charge of this operation, some of what they have found from the phones and laptops that they have obtained.
Hundreds of interviews that we've conducted so far, the social media review that we've done of his accounts, by my count now, the 5 devices we have, the 3 cell phones and the 2 laptops, been able to initially triage or go through that, and there is just nothing to indicate through call records, through anything on those devices, through interviews, through anything in our systems that he was aided in this attack by anybody. And again, I have to caveat, like the governor said, this is 24 hours into it, and that could change.
So that was the press conference the FBI gave about 2 hours ago or so. They are still eager for any information that anybody has out there about this person. They are trying to build a timeline of the radicalization of this person, the disintegration of this person. According to family members, he had started to be erratic. And according to the FBI, Brianna, he had pledged allegiance or joined to, if one can actually join in some physical way, ISIS, or at least pledged allegiance earlier before the summer.
And Anderson, what a different scene behind you now. I'm just struck by that. There are so many people. There's just the din of the French Quarter with the reopening.
Yeah, it's interesting. About an hour ago, an hour and a half ago, a first-line band came down the street with city officials playing music. We ran out and watched it. It was actually a very moving scene, this extraordinary band playing music. The officials in the city wanted first to open Bourbon Street to religious leaders. So they've also had a lot of preachers here doing prayer circles. We've seen saying prayers and also music, which obviously is such a key part of New Orleans. Then they closed the street down a little bit. It's all cleaned up, and now they've opened it to the public. And as you see, it's not obviously incredibly crowded, but there are dozens and dozens of people wandering, walking up and down, just wanting to come here. Businesses have opened, the bars have opened. There's some music playing in a couple bars down the street. The frozen drinks that are like purple and pink, they are in the slushy machines going around. So it is very important for city officials. I talked to the superintendent of police just a short time ago. We ran into her on the street to get this street back up and running, not from a business standpoint so much as just a statement about this city and the spirit of this city and the desire to have the city not be, on bended knee. This city has gone through so much with Katrina. I was here, it's crazy, Brianna, I was here almost 20 years ago when Bourbon Street first reopened after Hurricane Katrina. I remember it. City officials walked down the street, making it the official opening of it, and I remember the first bar that opened. So it's very strange to be back here 19 years later and see Bourbon Street once again reopening after a tragedy.
Yeah, wanting to come back from a tragedy. And we heard that from people at the Superdome as they're getting ready for the Sugar Bowl. They don't want to let terrorism win here. They're dedicated to showing up for the game as well. Anderson, thank you so much for sharing that with us. We do appreciate it. Live there in the French Quarter.